MovieWeb.com.
I was just talking with Eli, like everything you sort of expected, then it turns kind of on top of that, and then things that you didn't expect, then it's something totally. So it kind of gives you all this different
Good.
Yeah, so
It keeps you interested.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you interested. Well, I actually wanted to begin by
As we were filming it as well, the idea of like, oh, it was originally named Cotton. Not that it was going to be that film you were just talking about, but the whole idea, I think the story was coming from, we're exploring this guy and figuring out his crisis of faith. But in the end, you cannot help but have it devolve into a wonderful, creepy, thriller instead, because we run into Nell, and then Ashley's doing her thing, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, and the car gets turned upside down, and you don't know what's going on anymore,
Yeah, it's like that whole beginning setup of your character sort of just puts him in the right territory for this story to then take place.
Right. Well, I think the whole first half of the film, and the way that they're shooting it, and that whole confessional sort of thing with the lens, invites the audience to come in and get comfortable in what we're doing and sitting down with us as we're going to go see this story. So by the time that they're sitting beside me and we get down to the Sweetzer farm and we meet Nell, we all get to experience that. And Ashley's so good in playing, both the possessed girl and also sweet Nell. It was really easy, for me, because she came prepared so well.
Thank you so much. Blushing.
Do you think the documentary style really led to sort of the scariness and the tone of the film?
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
I think when I saw it for the first time, what Zoltan Hanti, the cinematographer, got felt so creepy. The angles he got and everything he brought to it, you feel so vulnerable as an audience, because you're in this 360 arena and you don't know what could be coming up behind you, or who's next, who's prey. And I think that was the scariest part when I saw it. Also, I was surprised by the humor in the beginning. There was so, and that's all, Huck Bacco and Andrew Gerlin, that everyone was laughing in all the right spots, I thought, and that was so manipulative.
Using that handheld device,
Yeah.
I think Zoltan has a real restraint about it. It's not like this jerky 14-year-old boy sort of thing, and so therefore you get to really lay into the scene. Plus, it gives you that whole sensation of like you're seeing the scene, but what you really want to see is what's around there, and you wait for him to drift in there. And sometimes he lets it, and sometimes he doesn't. And I think that keeps you on edge about what is off to the left and what is off to the right.
And then it's really scary when Nell gets a hold of the camera,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a creepy part of it, I thought, yeah.
And was that originally in the script as well, or was that something that kind of came out? Well, that Nell
We did a lot of
gets
stuff
the camera?
on
Yeah.
set that all of a sudden lend itself to the moment. Daniel was really good about saying, let's try this, and what if? What if all of a sudden we take a nap because we're exhausted about what's going on, and Nell gets the camera, and what happens then? So.
Yeah. Also, Daniel shoots around 20 or 30 takes a scene, and it was, this is my first film. It was so cool to work that way, I thought. And he'd always come to us and asked if we had anything else we wanted to try, or any new ideas, or what we thought our character would want to do. And actually, the night before the second exorcism scene, he asked if I had any ideas for the next day. And I mean, to get that question is just something you think will never happen in your career. So, and I said, yeah, I've kind of been working on a backbend and some other physical things. Can I show you? And he said, yes. And he's like, great, let's put it in, let's use it. So that was kind of where a lot of that.
All the things that Ashley does in the
backbend.
movie, she does in the movie. There's no CGI with her bending her back and the neck and all that stuff. So.
And that was
Yeah.
something that you just suggested the day. Oh wow.
It was, yeah. I feel like I'm stuck now. Like every time I go into audition for a casting director, I have to do a back bend and then do the sides.
They're gonna ask. They're gonna ask.
They're gonna ask now. Yeah.
Well, it's such an iconic image now. It's one of the best posters in the last 10 years. Certainly in the pantheon of horror. It's
Oh my
fantastic.
gosh, I never in a million years would have dreamt that would happen.
And then you have so much physical stuff that you're doing in the film, and both of you, to do that many takes, I mean, was that exhausting as an actor to sort of go through that?
You get worn down a little bit, but also by wearing you down, it gets a little more true and a little more real, and I think that comes across and makes the film more intimate and more accessible for the audience.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first lead role in a film. I'd have to say it was fun. I mean, I probably shouldn't say that because the character is so violent, but I had so much fun every day on set. I think the hardest day was when it ended.
Yeah, well, it shows because it's just fun to watch you
Oh,
guys
good.
in the movie. So thank you so much.
Absolutely,
Thank you
glad
so
you
much.
liked it.
Thank you.